Hey everybody, it's your friend and your guy who's not taking votes on whether the stash stays or goes, Gardiner. This week we have some big gaming industry news that I wanted to talk about. Strap in, because this is going to be a fun ride. So this week, John Riccitiello retired from Unity, and I was going to make a video earlier this week about it, because old Johnny boy, old Ricky has bowed out in disgrace at Unity because, let's face it, that whole shenanigans with the runtime fee was an absolute fiasco and disaster for Unity Engine. And I know a lot of people are celebrating about this, but there are some things that we need to keep in mind. First, there are allegations of insider trading. These are not allegations that I am making. I have seen allegations against Riccitiello and other insiders at Unity who have said that they knew that this was coming. They knew that this was going to be unpopular. They had a bunch of stock options, and they sold those stock options before the announcement of this post, or the announcement of this runtime fee. So John Riccitiello made a crap ton of money before this announcement, allegedly, and now he's out at Unity. That's fascinating. It's disgusting. For a guy like John Riccitiello, it's par for the course. For a lot of people of his caliber in his position, it's just doing business. And the fact is, I don't like any of it. What I find interesting about this whole situation, though, with his retiring, he's being replaced by James Whitehurst. Now, if you're in the Linux community, you might know that name. James Whitehurst is the guy who ran RedHad for years. He has kind of a mixed record, but generally positive as far as I know. And then he became the president of IBM. The fact is, James Whitehurst has kind of a history with tech companies. Him taking over for old Ricky boy here, that's kind of interesting. I don't know what it means for Unity. I know that companies like Unity can't be trusted no matter what. It doesn't matter if Whitehurst has a pretty decent reputation in the free software world. Unity will never be free software. Unity will never be trustable ever again. This is like part of their company culture. Riccitiello has run Unity for years, and so if you're an indie game dev and you hitch your wagon to Unity, you don't care about your business. So for me as a game developer, for me as a business owner, I would never trust Unity again, no matter who's running the company. So I'm sorry to to James Whitehurst, but I can't get behind you guys. My company is using Godot for our game. We'll have a lot of information about our game coming out pretty soon. So make sure you get subscribed to stay up to date with that, because we're gonna have a game coming out on Steam within the next few months, and I'm very, very excited about that. And it's because of you guys that we've been able to make the investment of our time into making this game. And I'm pretty stoked for you guys to see it. So, yeah, we're using Godot because Godot is like the only engine that we trust right now. And I can't wait for you guys to see it, like I said. So make sure you get subscribed, because there will be an official trailer drop pretty soon for the game. We're just finalizing some art assets, and we're beta testing and getting things ready for release. So yeah, make sure you get subscribed to stay up to date with all that, because I can't wait. So, the Steam Deck has been in the top sellers on Steam for the last 80 weeks or so, which is a year and about 8 months or ish. And for that time, it has been among the global sellers, competing with games that are selling in the hundreds of thousands, if not millions of units. And that's pretty impressive for the little Linux-powered Steam Deck that could. Now, the top seller list is ranked by revenue and not units sold, and the Steam Deck is considerably more expensive than the likes of a $60 AAA release. But despite that, it's still very impressive to see the Steam Deck sitting at the number one, or at least near the number one spot of the global top sellers on Steam. Since its release, it's been in among the top 10 global sellers until last week, the week starting September 26th and running to October 3rd. Up until then, the Steam Deck has been in the top 10, but now it is in 15th place or so. That's 83-ish weeks in the top 10 globally, and the Steam Deck isn't even available in all markets across the globe. We know that Valve has sold at least 1 million Steam Deck units, but I think it's more 3.5, maybe 4 million units sold. And again, this is all selling in limited markets across the globe, the US, most of Europe, and limited Asian markets as well. So now, given that there are some substantial rumors of a Steam Deck hardware refresh, I think that it's kind of reasonable to see the Steam Deck drop from the top 10 global sellers, but it's still in the top 20. And that's really wild. And speaking of these rumors, let's talk about the upcoming rumored refresh. Now, we talked about this in the last Steam Deck news video, but I really wanted to touch on this one more time because this seems to be huge news, a huge development for the Steam Deck. We've noted before on the channel about the upcoming Sephiroth APU. Sephiroth being the character in Final Fantasy VII that killed Aerith, which is the CPU or the APU in the Steam Deck currently. And we've talked about how the Sephiroth APU has been referenced in the Linux kernel alongside the Aerith APU. It only makes sense that there is new Steam Deck hardware on the horizon, especially given this new Quectel wireless card that has been referenced in connection with the Steam Deck. So let's talk about this. We have this Quectel wireless solutions card, and if you see here, we have a Wi-Fi and Bluetooth module that has been granted by the FCC, basically in conjunction with the Valve Steam Deck Model 1030. Now, Model 1030 has popped up a few times online, and according to this document issued by an FCC lab, the module installed into the host platform mentioned above is electronically and mechanically identical to the original certified module. The original FCC testing on the module was performed with an antenna of higher gain, and the antenna was connected to the module in an open environment. The current host platform under application uses an antenna of the same type but of lower gain and is installed inside the host platform enclosure. The physical restraints introduced by the host platform should have resulted in equal or lower levels of radiated emission. Therefore, radiated emission testing is not necessary. So essentially, this Quectel wireless card was tested before by the FCC with a higher gain antenna. And so it doesn't need to go through any more testing, according to the FCC, because it's going to be installed in the Steam Deck, where it has like some radiation shielding already. Now, if we look into this Quectel device, this module supports 2.4 gigahertz, 5 gigahertz, and 6 gigahertz triple band, plus Bluetooth Low Energy, Bluetooth 5.2. It supports DBS. So if you're not familiar, DBS stands for dual band simultaneous, which from my understanding means that you can use like a 5 gigahertz and a 6 gigahertz radio channel at the same time, which could significantly drive more throughput of Wi-Fi speeds. It also supports the PCIe 3.0 interface for higher transmission rate and lower power consumption. It has a fast time to market, and it has a wide operating temperature from -30 to +75°C. So 75°C is very warm. 167 degrees Fahrenheit, yeah, that would be very uncomfortable. Now, I'm very, very keen to see what Valve has up their sleeve for a version 1.1 Steam Deck, which is kind of what this is going to be. Because this is definitely not a Steam Deck 2, right? I think what we should expect is a slightly better screen, better battery life, better storage options. So instead of starting at 64 gigs, it's going to start at probably 256, go 512, and then 1 terabyte at a minimum. I think what would be really nice to have is better heat management, maybe a die shrink, but that's probably not in the cards. A lot of people want to see an OLED screen. I don't really care too much about an OLED screen. If you have used the SteamOS 3.5 beta, you're going to find that it has a significantly improved calibration for the screen. Although having better black levels is definitely going to be a good thing. But what I would like to see for the screen is variable refresh rate. For a device like the Steam Deck, where target performance can be in the mid to low 40s and even 30s, having VRR would be indispensably cool. One thing that I would love to see is stronger haptics. If you've used like the Steam controller, you'll know that it had some real weight behind its haptics, and you could really feel when something was going on. And I would love to have the trackpads be a little bit more noticeable with their haptic feedback, and especially with rumble emulation, because that's something that I have missed on my Steam Deck. All right, next up, I wanted to talk about a few of the Steam Deck beta client updates that have hit. Now, one interesting Steam input update that hit this week is the new laser pointer gyro mode. It basically uses 3DOF to 2D conversion, and it essentially, your on-screen cursor is driven up, down, left, and right using an imaginary ray pointing out of the top of the controller or through the Stream Deck's screen. And this is pretty awesome. In fact, all of the SteamOS beta updates that have been hitting for the beta client as well as for the beta OS are adding some really interesting features. There has been some interesting updates for the SteamOS 3.4.11 firmware that was released, firmware 166. Now, this firmware is being backported from SteamOS 3.5, if I'm remembering correctly. And essentially, I've been seeing reports that if you've done anything to your TDP, if you've overclocked or underclocked your Steam Deck, firmware 166 can cause some issues with that. So update beware, but at the same time, you want to be on the latest firmware for security reasons. Well, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I really enjoy making these videos for you guys. I hope that you enjoy watching them. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, I hope that you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.